I'm gonna show you the technique for great sounding mixes. For some of you, it might be the obvious one, but I guarantee that you don't use it that often, and you should use it daily. Take for example this beat I've just made. It has so much potential, but the mix sounds like a complete garbage. Now, instead of sitting here for a whole night trying to figure out what to do next, I'm gonna use the technique this video is all about: referencing. Whatever you make, trap, drill, R&B or Italo disco, finding a good reference track is actually pretty easy, but with one rule attached to it. If you're making just a beat, it's better to look for an instrumental rather than a full track. So for my needs, I'm searching for a beat that's similar to mine in terms of instrument used, tempo, and maybe even the key. And now I'm gonna use the hot and upcoming rapper technique to acquire it. Of course, you can reference by ear, and it's nothing wrong with that. But there's actually one free plugin that will help you a lot with this task, and it's called Voxangle Span. As you can see, it analyzes the frequency spectrum, and the good thing is that you can analyze more than one in one window. In Ableton, what you gotta do is to have your Voxangle Span on the master, then your reference track routed by sidechain to it, and then groups 3 and 4 set up like this. Now you can mute your reference track and then underlay the group 3. So the green one is our master and blue one is our reference track. Before we get into the mix, quick disclaimer: 90% of a good mix is good leveling. So with the assumption you're using the best quality sounds possible, we won't dive deep into some complex EQ curves or surgical compression, cause to be honest, with mixing beats, 9 out of 10 times, that will be an overkill. So let's start with mixing kick and bass. Now I can see I need to have my 808 a little bit louder. So what I gotta do is just put the volume up. So the fun part about this plugin is that you can actually focus on the frequencies you want to mix. And that's helping a lot if you're mixing single elements, not the whole beat. Now I'm gonna unmute the kick. That's already kinda good match. Okay, so let's move to the snare and maybe hi-hats. So by ear I can already tell that hi-hats are a little bit too loud, so I'm gonna pull them down. Snare is kinda okay, but we will check it in the mix. So the crash should be a little bit lower too. Now let's actually try to level those instruments. So the lower part is actually kind of matching our reference track, but I can see some unpleasant resonances in here. Let's try to check what frequencies those are. It's like 830 Hertz. So let's move to our loop. Grab a basic EQ and try to cut them. Yeah, that was it. Okay, so let's check it now. It's kinda gone, but we need to remember that this analyzer is actually very precise. Yeah, I can work with that. So let's check the full mix now and make some final touches. So those hi-hats are still a little bit too loud, but that might be my personal preference. So actually I'm gonna lower them. You don't need to be very precise, because let's be honest, those two beats will always sound different because of the sound selection and composition. We're aiming for the closest match possible in terms of level, here, and frequency spectrum. So I think you can hear the difference. And I hope this video will help you a lot with leveling your sounds. And yeah, what about leveling up your 808 game in drill beats? Interested? Check this video out.